Hi all. Everything in my video is pulled from the public domain, and I am using them under the Fair Use, Fair Dealings guidelines. Everything I say is my own opinion. You should look into this information for yourselves, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Good morning, guys. Oh my goodness, this has to be one of the longest videos I've ever done. But I brought my receipts, my pictures, and my videos. You'll understand everything. We're going to start off with the visit to the Queen. We're going to move on to the bullying allegations. Then we're going to jump into the Invictus games. There's so much to cover, but at the end, hang in there, because at the end, there's a palate cleanser with a Finn update, okay? So hang on and let's just jump in and go. So we're going to start off with this article about the fact that William and Kate were not there when Harry and Meghan stopped in to see the Queen and Charles. Now, everybody seems to think this was a let's clear the air meeting, but actually that may not have been what it was. Think about it. It very well could have been the Queen had said that she won't do anything with the titles unless it's a face-to-face meeting. And I think Charles is not likely to just forget about all the problems that have been created simply because Harry and Meghan attacked them on Deck Shepherd, attacked them on the bus with James Corden, attacked them in the Oprah interview, attacked them in the Me You Can't See. I mean, I don't think the family's just going to say, well, okay, let's just put that behind us. And even though you've damaged us severely, let's just put that behind us and break bread and be friends. No, that's not the way it works in any family, much less this family. So I don't think this was a olive branch meeting. I think this might have been a meeting to discuss with them what's coming out in the book, because we all know Harry's about to slam the family in this book that's going to be released soon. So don't assume this was a let's clear the air meeting, because I don't believe it was. Now, Marietta pointed out that this was not a, quote, lovely family lunch. It was brief, no pomp, no photos, no nothing. And that makes you wonder, and I don't think they were there that long either. So that makes you wonder what really went on behind closed doors. I think this tweet is perfectly on spot on. It's what's not being said that's important. And I have to point out that Scooby-Doo put up this tweet saying that basically 3 years ago they couldn't have done this because, we know where the leaks were coming from. They're coming from the palace. Isn't that an interesting tweet, especially when you look right now that the entire thing was leaked by the Sussexes? The whole thing, from supposedly walking to Windsor and being spotted by people to the rep confirming that they went there. And they've asked Buckingham Palace, did this meeting take place? And Buckingham Palace has said, no comment. So I think if anything, that proves that Harry and Meghan are the leak. They've always been the leak. All right, moving on. Then you have these kinds of stories that start coming out that Meghan and Harry vowed to the Queen, you'll hug the children really soon. There's absolutely no way that anybody knows what went on in that meeting. And if they were going to bring the kids, this would have been the perfect opportunity. As a matter of fact, they could have left the kids there with the nanny to visit for 2 or 3 days while they were in Holland. But no, they didn't bring the kids at all. So there you go. Those kinds of articles are all about rebranding them. I believe this article, I believe they were in and out in 15 minutes. They said what they had to say to Charles. Charles probably looked at him and said, I can't believe you lied about me internationally. Like, are you crazy? I think they were in and out very quickly. And I think this is to take care of the backlash because they didn't show up for Prince Philip's Thanksgiving service. I think there was more backlash than they expected. I think people are up in arms over their treatment of the royal family, and now they have to fix it if they're going to be able to move forward. And I think that the fact that the royalty there will only see Harry and Meghan at the opening and the closing ceremony and is not hosting them, is not having an audience with them, is not giving them a place to stay, which is completely against their protocol. They've never done that before. I think that's indicative of how people feel about the way that they've treated the Queen. And now they're like, oh, crap, I think we've gone too far. Let's see if we can fix it. No, I also recently saw this, although this is from March, and basically what it says is that the bullying allegations are going to reveal that the palace was aware of the complaints, but they didn't do anything about it because they were trying to protect Meghan. So when that report is done and when it's released, I think it'll be interesting. And that, you never know, that could have been one of the topics during their meeting, was that, this is what we found and we're going to be releasing it. We're just giving you a heads up. You never know. Richard Dean said that Buckingham Palace is now trying to bury the investigation. And that makes you wonder if they're making a deal of some sort. We won't release this in the memoirs if you make the bullying stuff go away. I agree with Sunflower Mama that a deal was made. No bullying investigation means no being smacked around in the memoir that's coming out. That's what I think, and I agree. So finally, Harry and Meghan make it to The Hague, and the first public appearance, and Meghan is wearing an overcoat worth over £3,000. For those of you who don't know, that's close to $4,000 for a coat in the United States. They had just come from meeting with the Ukrainian team, with Netflix in tow, I might add. And Harry is showing off a calendar. And apparently, if you buy the calendar, the proceeds were going to help the Ukrainian team, I'm guessing. But I have to be honest, I wouldn't buy the calendar because it's probably going through Archewell, which means they're probably making money off the calendar. So I'm not the least bit interested in that. By the way, this is the Ukrainian team at the airport. And then here's a picture outside the airport or at the hotel, I'm not sure. They all made it safely. And here's Harry trying to look all serious. Okay, so then when they got done with this, they changed their clothes and they went to a reception. Right off the bat, Meghan started copying Catherine's outfit from the tour. She's wearing this all-white outfit. Look familiar? Yeah, because Catherine just wore it. And once again, you can see as usual, it's not well tailored to her. It's hanging on her like a sack. So her outfit cost £3,200. The bag was £2,200. The shoes were probably about £1,000. So you're looking at £6,400 or almost $8,400. Now that's just for the clothes. That's not including the jewelry. Of course, she's wearing the tank watch again, which is worth like $30,000. And she's got her engagement ring and she's wearing other gold necklaces and stuff because she's merching. But that's what's going on here. And let me remind you that a lot of Catherine's outfits for that tour that they were just on, the entire outfit with the shoes that were 6 years old, the dress that was $600, the earrings that were $75. Yeah, so normally Meghan wears ridiculously expensive clothing and she wears ridiculously expensive jewelry. I notice on this trip so far, she seems to have toned it down a bit. Maybe she realizes that she comes off as pretentious and obnoxious. Anyway, so she's definitely copying Catherine when it comes to the jewelry. Now, I don't pay attention to the cost of the engagement rings and earrings that she wore to her wedding. I don't pay attention to those because I just feel like that's, Catherine wore her wedding ring and, that kind of stuff. But she's definitely picked up Catherine's style when it comes to wearing inexpensive jewelry. So she's merching stuff like the hand chain, which, by the way, is $238. And she's, she's wearing stuff that normally she wouldn't wear, and she's trying to get it sold. Look at the necklace she's wearing, $374, and it celebrates enduring love. Now, considering what she wore on her quote-unquote royal tour to New York, it's pretty obvious at this point that she's taking a leaf out of Catherine's book, especially when we saw Catherine wearing earrings that were a big whopping $70. These are the kinds of crowds that William and Catherine saw on their tour. You can see on the left, they're all the way in the corner there. And there was lots of yelling and screaming and people reaching out. Now, the next thing I'm about to show you is Harry and Meghan arriving at an Invictus. And unlike the tour with Catherine and William where people were screaming out and yelling and, oh my God, over here, over here, all you hear is people yelling out for Harry. Hey, Harry, Harry, over here, Harry, over here. Nobody's really paying any attention to Meghan, like not at all. And it was noted that the woman to the right was carrying Meghans' $4,000 jacket. So watch this. So don't tell me that Harry and Meghan aren't on social media reading what's being said, because as soon as it was noted that this woman was carrying Meghan's coat for her, Omid Scobie got right back on there. He immediately said there was a sudden drop in temperature and the woman walking with Meghan was carrying a baby. Now, first of all, why would you be there to greet, Harry and Meghan and walk with them if you're carrying a baby? I have trouble believing that. Second of all, look at this picture. Does it look to you like she's holding a baby in the middle of this voluminous coat? Because I have an issue with that. And I want to shout out to Beautiful Scenes for this montage above. I don't understand why she doesn't tailor the clothes. Why does she wear pants that are 2 sizes too big for her? Does she think it makes her look slimmer? Is she trying to hide excess pounds? Like, what is she doing? I can only say that if she actually has a stylist for this trip, and I'm pretty sure she does since we already know she brought her makeup person and her hairstylist, etc., she needs to get rid of them. Now, everybody's pointed out, as you can see in these pictures above, this big rounded belly thing that Meghan's got going on. And now people are going, ooh, I wonder if she's pregnant. People, she's not pregnant. Let me remind you of something. Here's the back of her when they were in Central Park, at that festival thing they were doing. Look how big she looks from the back. And look at her belly showing through this dress that she was wearing. When they were leaving the World Trade Center, here's the back of her in her pants and a jacket. And here's a picture of her on the left is when she was standing for photos, and on the right when she didn't realize anybody was taking her photo. So she still has this baby belly, baby body thing going on even after all this time. That's why she wears these big oversized outfits, because if they were hugging her body, you would see all of that. I don't get it. I thought she's getting ready to do a podcast about female stereotypes or archetypes. I thought she was all about female empowerment. Why? She's missing a golden opportunity here. It's going right past her. That you don't have to look perfect after having a baby. But she thinks that she has to look perfect. That's why she's always trying to hide it with either dark colors or baggy clothing. So Team Australia decided, now that Harry lives in California, to give him something called a budgie smuggler. Caption, I can't even fill this thing out. What am I supposed to do? And then, thank you. Okay, moving on. So here's a little video to show you what was going on inside the reception. He's talking, she's looking around trying to look like she's interested. Notice at the bottom of the screen the Netflix camera that's trained on them. Meghan's playing with her hair. This is what they're doing. I'm telling you. So when she came out from the reception, that they were in, she did that creepy thing where she immediately spotted the camera and she's looking up and smiling. You guys, we know all about that. Somehow, no matter where the camera is, she can find it. It's just creepy. So as I was just saying, the Netflix crew was literally scampering around after them. Everywhere they went, no matter what they were doing, no matter who they were talking to, lots of photos. And here, in case you missed it, as they were walking in with all of those people, there was the Netflix crew. Watch this. Now, as if this wasn't shocking enough, and if this wasn't her trying to turn everything back to them, Meghan is having a quote-unquote secret reading of The Bench. Now, I've told you guys before, she's always pushing the book. She bought like a gazillion copies for herself. She was giving them out to the kids in Harlem. She's giving them to libraries. She's handing them out. She was plugging the book on the Ellen DeGeneres show, and now she's probably going to be plugging the book here again. She's got so many copies. She's never going to be able to get rid of all of them. And I agree with Reasonable Voice. She's going to be reading it in the British Embassy tent. So why is something that's being funded by taxpayers being used so that Meghan can promote her book for like the 100th time. Excellent point. So this was brought to my attention. I thought it was very important to bring out because it's where the money is going for Invictus. Neil Sean apparently reached out to the Sussex spokesperson to find out about the money and who's making what money and where's it going, etc., etc. And he was lied to. They told him that Netflix was the producer, but as you can see, Netflix is not the producer. They're the distributor. Anyway, somebody put this comment up, this Ron person put up this comment, and what this person is saying, essentially, if you read the whole thing, is that the Invictus Games took money that was donated for wounded warriors and have put it into being part of the producers of this show, which, as you could see from the last slide, was absolutely true. They are producing along with Violet Films and Archewell. Makes you really wonder where the money's going. Somebody better speak up soon from the Invictus Games and say yay or nay to this story. Okay, moving on. So this is just a quick update. I remember I told you guys that the U.S. Transportation Secretary was going over there. And Harry and Meghan are trying to hitch on his wagon at this point because, as it turns out, he previously ran for president and apparently he plans on doing it again. So yes, of course they want to hitch up to him. Just an FYI. All right, moving on. All right, so we already know this, but let's just point it out really quickly that this is all about trying to manage Meghan's reputation. People don't like her. She comes across as pretentious. She comes across as rude. She comes across as just, I'm better than everybody else. So they're trying to work on her image, which is why I think they stopped her from going out into public for so long. You didn't see her. That was supposed to be like pressing the reset button. You know what I mean? And now they're redoing things. So look at this video I'm about to show you. You know how she usually grabs onto him and claws onto him and she's holding him? This time, not only did she walk behind him, but they've put space between them and they're not holding hands and clawing each other because this is part of the let's rebrand. So look at this. So they're separated. She's having to make her own conversation. And when she walks up to him, she touches his back to let him know she's there, but that's it. And they're putting out stories like this. They're feeling so broody and they've cuddled up to a baby and Meghan had to comfort Harry and hold his hand and, you know, because he was so sad, although I can't imagine why he's sad. Anyway, here's a little bit of video just to show you what was happening. Watch this. Now, they've even put up some video with her and Harry trying to take a picture with a baby. And the reason they've done this is because Meghan never has come off as very maternal, right? Here's a video that shows you what happened the last time she had a kid touching her. Watch this. She blatantly is ignoring the kid, but then he goes too far. He touches her hair. And she basically takes his hand and puts it away from her. Like, watch her. She's like trying to keep that kid's hand off of her. She's like, don't touch me, don't touch me. And here's what happened when they were at the reception and there was a different kid. First of all, she made sure she was not next to the kid, but watch this. All right, so as you can see from the daily schedule, the next day it was the Land Rover driving challenge, and Harry and Meghan went to that. So here they are at the event, and you can see right off the bat the Netflix cameras. Look over Meghan's shoulder. There's the camera. Look at this picture. Right between them. There's the camera. And a big boom. There's a better shot of the boom going over their heads so that everything that's said could be captured for the Netflix documentary. And for me, that makes this entire thing very disingenuous. It's all for show. It's all for money for Netflix. It's not real. I just think they've really brought it, I don't know how to say it, they've really damaged the Invictus brand. Nothing is real. It's all just for money. Now, with that said, I completely agree with what Jenny Randall wrote up here. What about the athletes? Isn't anybody doing any stories about the athletes, their struggles, what the games mean to them? Anything? Harry and Meghan have turned this into the Harry and Meghan show. I completely agree. So here they are still at the Land Rover show. And like I said, this is all about rebranding the image. Look at us. Aren't we fabulous? Although this last picture of Meghan with the kid shows what I'm talking about. She is as scrunched up as she could be. She doesn't want that kid touching her. I'm pretty sure we can guess who the more maternal parent is in this bunch. Again, with the rebranding, in case you haven't noticed, while Harry and Meghan are standing next to each other, they're not groping each other, they're not hanging on each other, they're trying to keep some distance between so that, you know, it looks a little bit more professional. I think this is part of the rebranding to make them seem more, I don't know, royal, because that's how royals usually behave. They usually don't claw each other in public. Now let's take a look at the cost of the clothes she's wearing now to this particular thing. The t-shirt, they didn't even get a price for, but it was probably, knowing the way she wears clothes, it was probably several $100s. The Celine jacket, which is 2,400 pounds, is over $3,100 for the jacket. The $1,950 bag is over $2,600. That's just for the bag. And the jeans, which were 266 pounds cost, is $350 American dollars for a pair of jeans. Now you should know that her shoes were 660 pounds, which is over $800 for ballet slippers. And you should know the sunglasses, which were 690 pounds or almost $900. Yeah, for a pair of sunglasses. And of course, she accessorized with earrings from Serena Williams' line. Yeah, merching for an acquaintance. Now, I could continue on, but this video has really gotten too long. So I'm going to stop right here and give you a Finn update. And we'll discuss the opening and closing ceremonies and all that on another video, okay? Or what's going on another video. But I took Finn outside and I picked up those. They look like flowers, but they actually have little white seeds on them. I don't know what you call it. And I blew it to see how he would react. And here's a video of it. So watch this. Ready? You ready? Finn. Whee! Okay, all right. It's all gone. It's all gone. You don't have to worry. So that is a ridiculous amount of information, a very long video, but of course you know I want your comments, so leave them below. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and if you've already hit the button, double check to make sure you're still subscribed. You know how all that works. Don't forget you can follow me on Twitter, you can follow me on Getter, you can follow me on Rumble, you can email me. For those who have donated to my coffee fund, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.